Alrighty, folks. Welcome to episode 2 of Waves on the Shore. That's right, Cyrus. You can suck it because it is Waves on the Shore, and I'm really happy about it, and so is Jaded. Jaded, what do you have to say?
Where's my? Oh my god!
Oh, I can't do that.
Please tell me I don't have to run that back.
You could just censor, just censor,
Edit
just,
that out.
just no, just put like just like either
Yeah,
cut it or
leave the
bleep
call
it.
in. Yeah, but bleep it, bleep it.
Yeah. Oh, we're off to a good start.
That was great. Oh, okay. What are we gonna talk about? We're talking about in this episode. We'll be talking about that new Alan Jackson album, the Olivia Rodrigo album, and gosh, the Blake Shelton album. This is gonna be an interesting episode. Yeah, it is. It is. I'm excited.
We'll probably end up talking about 30 other things, but those are the three topics we're gonna start with talking about in the
Oh, for
beginning. So, where do we want to kick it off? Which
Okay. How about
album?
this? Let's do the Blake Shelton album first. Then let's do that.
Who wants to open?
I'll give my thoughts. I have listened to this album. I'm spacing on the name of it. Like that's how
Body
this album-
language.
Body language. That's what it is. Like this, I don't know, bro. This Blake Shelton album, I don't even know what to think of it, bro. Okay, so let me just. I've listened to it like 3 or 4 times, and there's like a couple songs that have stuck out to me. This is super frustrating for me because I actually really like Blake, just as like a guy, and a couple of his songs are like guilty pleasures, and some of them I genuinely like. But like off of this album, I actually don't mind Happy Anywhere. I don't really know how other people feel about that because I feel like people, I don't know. I feel like I haven't really heard.
It grew on me in the context of the album. I'll say that.
Okay. Well, I always enjoyed the instrumentation on it more than the lyrics.
Oh yeah, I think it was just I was kind of tired of hearing Gwen Stefani. To
I
be
will
honest.
say that I think the title track is garbage, and Bible verses is solid.
Just
like, I'm
looking at
just-
the track, I was just trying to find
I
something
am,
good.
I am because like it's like this felt okay. It's just an okay album, and I think Minimum Wage is all right. Honestly, I think Happy Anywhere, Bible verses, and Now I actually kind of liked Now I Don't. It's a little weird, but and this The Girl Can't Help It, and there's so many cliche songs on this album too, like Korn, The Girl Can't Help It, Neon Time. There's so
I clearly thought a lot higher of this album than you. Yeah.
I don't hate it. It's just so many of these songs I was just kind of like
I think it's just
it just
Blake's.
it just felt like it was Blake doing safe stuff, which is
Yeah, for
par the
me,
course at this point.
I think
I feel.
the issue I ran into most on this album, and depending on when
Oh.
this goes up,
Sorry.
my review's either out or not. But one of my main issues with this album was the fact that obviously Blake didn't write any of these songs, but these are not meant to be cut by like some of these songs are not meant to be cut by like a 50-year-old man. With all due respect, Body Language, to be honest, I didn't mind it, but it's just I don't want to hear it from Blake. Like give that
Yeah.
to a younger artist, or like it's the exact same thing when Now I Don't. I liked the sound, even though they are a little more out there, a little more R&B with those two songs. I really liked the sound of both of them. I thought Now I Don't had a great hook,
I will say,
but I just don't want to hear that from Blake Shelton. And like, I'm sorry, when he says the word sex, I don't want to hear that coming out of Blake Shelton's mouth. Like, no, you're like 50, bro. Like,
so I actually like Now I Don't, but it's that verse, it's that line, and whatever I think it's like the second verse or whatever. where he's-
it's like right before the
where-
second
where he
chorus.
says that, and I'm just like, okay, let's not.
Exactly. It's like the creepy old guy on the end of the street. It's like
it just feels not good. I don't know. It just doesn't sound good either.
I fully agree. It doesn't come off right. But you said like Korn was really cheesy. I'm like
I
Korn might
enjoy
be Korn might be my favorite
say-
one.
Well, I didn't say it was bad. I thought it was cliche.
That's
And it's a
fair.
little checklisty, but I mean, I enjoyed it. I think it's fun.
Yeah, it's
Like out of all of
definitely.
the songs on here, it was one of the ones I had the most fun listening to.
I think my favorite songs are probably Monday Morning Missing You was good, but I think my top three after like whatever 2 or 3 listens so far, it's got to be like Korn, Making It Up As You Go, and Neon Time. Like you said, Neon Time as well. I just thought that felt like, I don't know. I mean, it's that beachy feel,
Oh no.
but those are the things that stuck out to me. If I'm being honest, lyrics on this album don't stand out very much, and when they do, it's often for the wrong reasons, like on Now I Don't. In terms of the sound, I think even though it's not like uber country the whole time, there are like very country songs on here, but there's also
Hey, Jada cutting in
a fair
here to
share
let
of
you
just
all
kind
know
of
that we were having
exploring out
technical
into other
difficulties at this
genres.
point.
I think it
Something
sounds
wasn't working with my
good
call,
on the
which is
whole.
why I
It's
didn't hear me
just
talking during
it,
the
it
like
falls
Sheldon
apart
discussion.
when you actually like.
But while I was
look
trying to get
past
things
the sound
working
of
on
it.
my end, the guys apparently got up to some other discussion, which is what you'll be hearing now. By the way, I edit these, so you know, just claiming my cred. Okay, listen to that.
New Migos album coming soon.
I don't. I don't really. That's the thing. I don't. I don't avoid like hip hop and rap and stuff like that. It just kind of.
Figured I'd
I don't
spark
know.
some conversation. I do keep up with the hip hop rap scene. And you know what? Though you haven't heard it, I'm just assuming you haven't heard it. First single from it, very Migos, but at the same time, it sounds
Uh-huh.
like solid Migos as opposed to Culture 2, which is just like, let's make a lot of bad songs and let's put them together. So that's how I would. Culture 1. This is so. Here's how the Migos went.
Mhm.
This could low key be a funny intermission if we keep this in, like while Jaded's trying to reconnect.
Yeah.
So here's
Technical
the
difficulty.
here's the Migos timeline, right? Burst onto the scene, had a few mixtapes, dropped Culture 1, instant classic, still my go-to when I'm playing Rocket League. And you know, it's
That
very
actually
Migos in the sense that
still my go-to while I'm playing Rocket
it
League.
is,
Sorry.
bro. When
That
I'm
cracked-
when
that
I'm
just cracked
tearing
me
up
up a little.
12-year-olds and I
Okay.
got T-shirt going in the background. So they dropped Culture 1, instant classic, lots of great
I heard
songs
you,
on
Jaded.
there. Very hip hoppy. Hello, Jaded. We're
Yeah,
talking about them.
y'all aren't cutting out at all now. Okay,
All right,
we're good.
sweet.
Okay.
Let me finish
Okay,
my
so
timeline of the Migos.
we're-
Hold on.
Okay.
Culture 2,
Uh-huh.
like I said, combination. They just basically everything that made Culture 1 good, throw it out the window. Make a bunch of weird songs that sound more fit for if a Latin trap artist had a child with Lil Baby or something like that. Some weird combination that doesn't work. Make them terribly sequenced. Don't flow together. You got Culture 2. And now Culture 3 is on the way. And that's the Migos timeline as told by Overshore. So, and now Jaded's back, so we can talk about country music.
Wait. I wanna real quick. I actually used to. The only real hip hop I listened to is NF. This was like a couple years back, like freshman sophomore year. So this was like 4 or 5 years ago. And I listened to NF, and I listened to early G-Eazy, like his first couple albums and EPs.
Yeah, I was never huge on G-Eazy, but I definitely went through like a
He's got a song
good.
called Downtown that I like.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Hard vibe to.
there's a
Hard
good
vibe
2
to that.
years where I listened to NF a lot, but then it kind of fell off. But I don't know if did you listen to his Clouds mixtape?
I haven't. So I listened to a ton of NF, probably like you, and then I believe it was his Perception album was the last one that I really was like, when it came out, I like listened to it. I haven't
Mhm.
listened to his The Search album, and I haven't listened to his Clouds mixtape.
Don't go
Okay.
for the Search
Yeah.
album. That was a waste of time.
I disagree heavily. I like the Search album, but the Clouds mixtape I think it's kind of middle of the road.
Time is like one of the only good songs on the Search. Although on the Clouds mixtape,
No.
yeah.
But don't at me. Therapy Sessions is his best album. There's not a debate.
What?
Therapy Sessions is his best album.
Oh, 100%.
I
But
love Therapy Sessions. I like Mansion a little bit better though.
no, I'll still go for
I
Therapy
think it's
Session.
close.
But
but I think
Story,
Therapy Sessions-
where I was getting Story on the Clouds mixtape. If you're gonna listen to one song from the Clouds,
Yeah, I know,
Story. It's
Story's
the one I
really
keep
good.
going back to. I'm not gonna say anything because like there is a genuine like plot to follow, and I honestly don't want to spoil it. But like,
Story
Worth
and,
your while.
Drifting, I really like.
yeah, I can agree with that. So, are we
I
gonna?
think it's a bit mediocre for NF though, like overall.
Yeah, overall, I mean, oh, what was the one? Hold on, let me pull it up. What was
But
the
I
one
think I have a
song that
higher
was just a
opinion of NF than
mess?
you do.
Oh, bro, the one with Hobson. Nope. no.
Oh,
Didn't
really?
like- I wasn't a big fan of it. It was like
I like it.
story, prideful. That's
But
a
yeah,
joke was okay. Pay my
My whole
dues was
my
all right.
every single song pretty much was just me like, that's pretty good.
They're all pretty similar. Like they all sounded very similar,
Mhm.
but
Bro,
I
I
don't think I don't think they sounded similar. I think they were just they were all produced by the same person. I think they all just kind of sounded like they belonged together.
mhm.
bro, I remember when Mansion was like his most popular song way back in the day.
What when it was like his only son?
Huh?
No, I was just making a joke of how it's like the older.
Oh, when it was
half.
just something. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
even when Therapy Session was out for a while,
Yeah, Mansion was still.
you could
big.
still say it was his most popular
Is it-
until Perception came out, and then you have Let You Down and Lie and some other songs.
Jaded. Now that you're back, difficulties are
Uh-huh.
gone. Blake Shelton's album. How are you feeling?
Man, that album sure does exist.
There it is.
And none of it stuck with me.
None of it.
Yeah. So it
Like,
sounds.
okay, wait. Bible verses, like I'm not religious, but I feel like that song was really like sounded genuine, and I think his delivery like had emotion in it, so I think that's pretty okay. But just the rest of the album is just like, yeah, okay, that happened.
Fair enough. I mean, I thought honestly,
Awesome.
out of all the albums I've been listening to lately, and there's been a bunch, whether it's for better or for worse, a lot, like a high concentration of these songs stuck with me. Like they either were stuck in my head or I just remembered them. Like a lot of times I listen to an album, it's like the second time back, I completely forget what they all are. But whereas this one's like after one listen, I could tell you like what 90% of them were. They just, I don't know. I can't explain why, but just something about them stuck with me, again, for better or for worse.
Probably could name 2 songs from that
Yeah.
album.
So like, I'm looking at the track list right now. I vaguely remember What You Doing Tomorrow having some type of like play off of like it's like midnight or it's like girls night out or something. I vaguely remember that. I couldn't tell you what the flow. I couldn't even. I have no idea.
It
what
starts
that
off
song
super poppy and then it turns into like
Yeah.
a one that's just like, oh, you gotta roll
Oh,
with the
and
flow
then-
and whatever.
is. Here, Monday Morning
Oh.
Missing You was super disappointing for me because it just reminded me of Monday Morning Merle, and that song is goated.
Yeah, I thought that as well. It just
And Monday Morning Missing You is like.
not on the
not
level of
even
Monday
good.
Morning Moral.
So yeah, I was just kind of like, okay, making it up as you go. I don't remember.
I like
just
that one.
remember
It
Korn
had a
'cause it
fun like yeah. Oh, bro, Corn gets stuck in your head.
Horn did not get stuck in my head at all. The flow kind of did. The chorus actually did a little bit.
Yeah.
I
know.
thought it was kind of like I thought it was kind of like daddish, like the lyrics in general. But
Of Corn.
That is.
Of
No,
Corn.
of,
Oh, I
the
love
flow.
that. Oh,
The flow? I mean, but I think that's what Blake should be going for at this point in his career. He shouldn't
Yeah.
be acting like a 20-year-old picking up girls in a bar.
He's gotta be.
He should
Gwen
be a
Stefani.
dad.
He's
Like
gotta
I
be
would
the stepdad.
No.
exactly. I would much prefer like a cringy dad joke song or songs like that. If he's gonna make a dumb song, I'd rather have a cringy dad joke song than Now I Don't. Cause like the fact of the matter is, Blake's like 50 years old now. He's not
Yeah,
25.
but didn't he? Yeah, but like I guess, like, what was?
There's
Miranda
another censor.
no, I'm just gonna cut
What
that
was that, my
out.
guy? His brain just shut down.
I forgot Miranda Lambert's name. That kind of happened somewhat recently, so I feel like he's a little bit justified.
What happened recently?
Not recently, but somewhat recently. Miranda Lambert. I feel like they're both.
You
still
talking about the
kinda
Miranda
milking
Lambert
it.
thing? That happened in like 2011.
That was a while
Yeah, but
ago.
we're both still milking it. It's like okay.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say either of them are still milking it. I get what you're saying, but like Miranda had the Weight of These Wings album, and that was literally her milking that. That was also her way of coping with it. I'm not trying to make it seem like she only did it.
Money grab.
Yeah, no. And it was it was a solid album, but I don't know. I feel like Blake moved on a long time ago, and people try to paint him as like kind of a villain in that whole thing. And it's just like, just leave Blake alone and let him sing about
Corn.
sex.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's singing about that a lot more than he is Corn.
Yeah.
I feel like his voice is really wasted on those kind of songs too, though.
Yeah,
Of course.
honestly,
his, like
I
his,
really enjoy Blake's voice.
like his like loud screamy type voice. Not it's not screamy at all. I don't. He's just loud.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. It's powerful.
His loud voice is very very compelling, and I feel like he needs to use that more.
Like he
But
he
so
does it well in God's Country.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and like if he put out like a really heartfelt like heartbreak song where he just goes in the chorus, I
Like
feel
She Wouldn't Be Mine. Or no, sorry, She
yeah,
Wouldn't Be
yeah,
Gone.
yeah. I feel like that would be a lot better than what this is, and it's just like a lot of forgettable songs
I can
where
get that.
he kind of sings it like with like, sort of emotionless delivery.
Well, I think there's also like there's a gap when you don't write the songs. Like you didn't. It's not. I'm not saying you have to write all your songs, but like there is that missing level of emotion where if you write a song, you know what went into it, you know the meaning behind it. Whereas like if you just cut a song someone else wrote, you can kind of like you can fill the blank with like your life experiences to fit that song and then try and sing through that emotion, but it's not the same when you don't write your songs. And Blake's never written like too many of his songs, but like he wrote none here, like not a single one, not even a co.
Yeah, he hasn't like cut one of his own like even a co-write in a while, if I
He had
remember
like
correctly.
2 or something on
He
Text on
used
the
to write
Shore.
more a lot earlier in his career,
Mm-hmm.
but now
Yeah,
he's just kind of coasting.
We'll probably end up talking about like how legitimate artists are that don't write their own songs or produce or whatever at some point.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't know if
I
you want
think
to do that right now.
no, we won't
That's
hit
a
it right
whole
now.
that's a whole other topic, I think.
Yeah,
So
and I can see both sides of that argument too. That's the thing. So
yeah. So general consensus, it's decent.
it's an album.
It's an album. It's there. It's out for you to listen to. Make of it what you will. I clearly thought a little more positive than these guys, but general consensus is it's an album.
I think it's
I mean,
I think it's a fun listen. There's not like any atrocious songs on here.
Yeah,
They're just- and I,
that's a good point. There's no dumpster fires that you're like, oh my gosh.
yeah. There's no new truck.
Yeah.
well, okay. I feel like
Although-
Neon Time. I feel like Neon Time is just so generic to the point of
Oh,
being offensive.
get
but-
server muted. No. He's gone.
I think while you were gone, me and Evan were literally talking about how we actually kind of liked Neon Time. Evan more than me though. Evan more than me.
I really liked it.
Really?
Yeah.
I
It's just
disagree
a fun-
strongly.
It's a little beachy, right? If
Yeah.
I remember correctly. But me and Evan are beachy people. I love Ernest. I listen to that album.
No.
I love that
I-
album. I listen to that album like multiple times a week.
Thank you.
No.
Yes.
It's not even that groovy though. There's
Should I
so
server
mean,
mute him
there's-
again?
No.
It's not.
I'm not gonna edit your podcast, dog.
Bruh.
Continue.
There's so many more groovy songs out there. This is just nothing.
Well,
It's
yeah.
generic.
Okay, I got you. I understand. It's a fun beachy song, and yes, it's generic.
Did you guys
We
listen
just-
to the on the topic of beachy songs? Did you guys listen to the new Old Dominion song?
I heard it came out. I know that it exists.
It's in the
That's up there.
it's
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
new
I
Music
can-
Friday for this week, and
Okay.
I would like to strongly recommend, especially
Okay.
if you're a beachy person. Like one of my favorite Old Dominion songs I've heard in a long time.
Hey, I'm actually going to the beach in a week and a half. So
I go to
yo,
the beach.
recording
not
a
to
podcast while I'm at
flex.
the beach would be sick.
That would be sick. I could actually do that with you as well. Cause like not to flex on you guys, but I was at the beach today. I
Well,
was
you
at
have
the
a-
beach
that's a lake,
yesterday.
though. I'm
I-
actually going.
That's
to
a
the ocean.
beach. That bro, you see the
No, it
size
is
of
a
these.
beach. It is a beach. The lakes are massive. That's true.
Well,
But
these
like,
are thick lakes.
it's like this is gonna be like I'm going to Florida, so it's gonna be a little bit more tropical.
Can I
There's
come
gonna be
with
some-
you?
There's gonna be some eligible honeys. Honestly, I wouldn't care.
Like,
Bro.
if you can sneak me out of the country,
Look,
take
then
me
if
with
this-
you.
and
I'm
if-
done in Canada.
And then in a couple years, if this really picks up and we're still podcasting and stuff, we'll take a group trip out and we'll do a live podcast and we'll just have to we'll record it, but we'll just have to black out where you're sitting on the screen.
Yeah, I mean, look, if anyone wants to sneak me out of the country into Florida or Texas, that'd be much appreciated. Cause I'm still in lockdown, and I am till June 2nd. And I'd now like to take this moment to quickly just voice my opinion on our reopening plan. And I say that with air quotations because this reopening plan, in a best case scenario, I can eat in a restaurant at the end of August.
This is Overshore's Canada segment.
Bro, I'm
He has
so
one of
done.
these-
I'm
he has
done
one
with
of
this
these every
country.
podcast. Last
Look.
time it was about syrup and Canadians. This time it's about the lockdown.
Look,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna take my
sit
moment.
back.
I'm gonna take my moment because, look, what is happening in my country? I don't know. Ontario reopening plan. This is not reopening plan. This is reopening in August. Like, okay, so stage 1. They like their stages here. Stage 1, 60% of adults with 1 dose. I just want to remind you, Texas opened up with 12% and saw no sizable increase. 60% of adults with 1 dose, outdoors first with limited, well-managed crowding and permitting restricted retail, so we can have an outdoor gathering of up to 10 people, outdoor dining for up to 4 people, essential retail at 25%, non-essential at 15%, blah, 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 but somehow day camps can open. Stage 2, and there has to be a minimum of 21 days in between each stage. 70% of people with 1 dose, 20 fully vaccinated. Larger outdoor gatherings up to 25 people. Small indoor gatherings of 5 people, so my family, we can have outdoor dining of 6 people. Non-essential retail at 25%. Look at us go. These are big numbers. Just keep in mind that every other state is selling at arenas, but Stage 3, 80% of adults with 1 dose, 25 fully vaccinated. Bro, how many do you need? How many vaccinations do you need? I don't even know if 80% of people are going to get the vaccine, let alone have... Okay, so here we go. Ready? Larger indoor and outdoor gatherings, no number, right? They're probably just going to come out and say 26, right? Indoor dining, finally. So again, in a best case scenario, I can eat in a restaurant in the middle of August. And this is after Doug Ford came out and said, we're going to make the summer look as normal as possible, which was his justification for extending the lockdown by a month and a half, right? I've been by the time we're out of this, I will have been in lockdown for 2.5 months, right? And that doesn't exclude the lockdown at the start of the year. So once that's up, right? Larger indoor religious services, whatever, indoor meeting event spaces, other outdoor activities from step 2 permitted to operate indoors. So, and then there's nothing past that. So I guess we're just going to be at stage 3 forever. We're never going to have more than 25 people outside. We're never going to go to a sporting event ever. So this is why, if anyone wants to sneak me out of the country, into Florida, into Texas, I will, if you will welcome me with open arms, I will jump into those open arms. I've had it up to here. That's my rant of the day. I'm done now. I just wanted to voice my extreme displeasure with my country. So, yep.
You have my sympathy. Come to Indiana, I'll accept you.
Packing my bags to Indiana then. Really quickly,
We
we'll move on.
border we border a lake. We border one of the Great Lakes.
Swimming over, kayaking over.
You don't need it.
Find me on my kayak.
Sorry, I just went, got some toast, took a little bit of a nap, just to rejuvenate. You still on this or not?
This guy. All right, we can move on. I needed to get that out of the way, especially since Jaded's gonna have his moment in a bit. We can move on. Biggest album of the year, I think the greatest album of all time, from the greatest musician of all time, Sour by Olivia Rodrigo. Are there any objections to her being the greatest artist of all time?
Okay, I have an objection, and I would like to make a statement.
Okay.
I would like to preface that statement with this statement, and then I will say this.
Are you announcing lockdowns or what?
Sounds like Doug Ford.
No. So first off, before I listened to this album, I had heard of Driver's License, and that's it. I hadn't listened to it. I'd heard snippets of it, and people have raved about it, and I've heard people complain about it being overplayed. But since it's overplayed, it's probably good. Yada yada yada, whatever. But how I perceived her was from I actually watch the High School Musical, the series show on Disney Plus. It's like a guilty pleasure for me. And so she's one of the 2 big characters of that. And so that's how I knew her. So I hadn't actually heard her music before. So I was going into this album, I was just worried that the writing wasn't going to be good and that there wasn't going to be a I wanted confidence. I wanted like I just wanted it, like a statement. I wanted it to like have a vibe, you know? Like
Mhm.
I wanted things out of this. And I was not expecting to get that. And when I listened to this album, I was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
Um
I agree. I mean, to clarify,
and
before I
yeah.
move forward, I just want to say, obviously joking in the sense that not the greatest album of all time, not the, but I also don't want that to come off as like an insult that it's trash
I think
because
it could be
it
one of
was
the best
actually
albums of the
decent.
year across all genres. I think.
It was very solid. I don't know about album of the year. I
Yeah.
think
I
maybe
think it could be one of the best
its
though. Maybe
maybe
top
in its
top 20.
respective, you know what? Maybe in its respective genre of like pop or like
Maybe,
yeah,
I guess.
it'd be under pop, but I could see that. It was definitely solid though, like a listen that I would recommend.
Good for you.
But yeah, like it's definitely weird though, because like she's become so massive that I feel kind of funny listening to it because I don't know, I feel like I should not be listening to it if I'm not like a 13-year-old girl.
Well,
But
okay, so
objectively
I
speaking, it's really good. You go.
yeah. Okay, so I want to like explain where this album took me because when I listened to it for the first time yesterday, and when I played the first song, I was like, huh, okay, and I accidentally had it on shuffle, so "Good for You" is the sixth track it played next, and I was like, wait a second, this isn't right. But
That's
I
an L.
finished listening to it anyway, and then I went back to the second song. But so when I heard "Good for You," I was like, I really like this. It had like it gave me like mid 2000s, just like it had shades of just like rock and like sassy punk rock and like
Have you?
it it, it,
I'm
it
gonna
made me
interrupt here.
it made me feel like I was listening to like an old Taylor Swift album,
I'm gonna
which is a
quickly interrupt here
vibe
for a
also.
second
Yeah.
because I didn't know this. I'm not into the rock and roll scene, but
Hmm.
my friends were talking about it. They were saying how like there's these comparisons to a Paramore song. I didn't know who Paramore was.
You
You don't
don't
know who
know
Um,
who
Paramore is?
Paramore is?
I know who
no.
Paramore is. My
So
brother listens to Paramore a lot.
so Misery Business. If you get a chance after the
Yes.
podcast, if you listen to Misery Business and then listen to Good for You,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
there is
yeah.
a shady amount
Yeah,
of similarities there. But
yeah,
No,
I do think
cannot
Good for
live
You is
without
good.
listening to both those songs. I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Wait,
You haven't
pause.
lived a full life.
Hold on.
I'm a very big Paramore fan.
Like I don't know. It took
Okay.
me. This album reminded me a lot of the Taylor Swift songs that I just grew up listening to, like
Hmm.
the ones.
It's got
And
that
but
2000s teenage
but I
vibe.
will say I actually like I really enjoyed this. I just really enjoyed it. My only like I don't really have a negative except that like it seems like well it's an 11 track album. It seemed like 8 of the tracks out of 11 were like about a guy that
I think
she
11 of
broke up
11
with.
were.
Well, not Hope
Okay.
You're Okay is not exactly
Not
about.
exactly, but
And then yeah, maybe the rest of them are though.
yeah, it's a lot. That's my
That
criticism.
yeah.
I'm
It
not
was
gonna
just like a
review it,
lot.
but
It was just a lot of all of that, and I was like, well, we can maybe just hit like some other topics just a little bit, maybe.
I do think like
But I enjoyed it.
yeah, as far as like pop music goes, this was solid, and I I had a
Okay.
completely different introduction to Olivia because I didn't know she was an actor. I'm not gonna lie to you, like because
Mhm.
I
Okay,
don't
listen,
watch TV
listen.
shows.
I need to jump in now
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that was a perfect segue. This okay, this is I think it's funny because actually both of you kind of have like a sort of weird external connection to it. I also do because this is a breakup album and you're really getting to know me like this podcast. I'm currently
Oh,
going through a breakup.
Oh, here we go.
oh,
So
Here we
like
go.
this this
that's
this
tough.
hit me and I can understand like
Mm.
if you don't like it cuz like yeah, it's every pretty much every song has those shades in it and a lot of those songs are just that. But it's really been describing a lot of what I'm going through currently.
I can
So
see that.
Mhm.
I've really been enjoying it.
Yeah,
Honestly,
actually, sorry. Okay, okay. Well, I'm not going through a breakup right now, but I'm not gonna go into it. But there's been some drama recently in my life with a woman that I, in my past, was not recently, was dating like 5 or 6 months ago, and it's just kind of, I'm just tired of it, I guess. And this album just kind of was giving off that kind of vibes,
I can see that.
honestly.
I mean, what I was gonna say is I think I'd be a lot more like vocally, or like I'd be a lot less ashamed to talk really highly of this album if it didn't have the reputation it does. Just because I feel like as a 17-year-old boy, just naturally I should not be sitting here like loving
I get
Olivia
that.
Rodrigo. Like it's definitely going to be a guilty pleasure. I can say that because I did
Nah,
really enjoy the album. But if it wasn't Olivia Rodrigo,
Mhm.
I'd be talking way more about it. But I don't know. I
Maybe,
just
maybe.
feel there's
I
just
see
this
what you're saying.
cultural like awkwardness if I come out and say like, man, this album was friggin' awesome, because it's like
Yeah.
it's one of those things. It's like a guilty pleasure kind of thing.
Yeah, well, okay, so I see what you're saying, but for me, yeah, I wouldn't even call it a guilty pleasure. Like, I'm probably gonna keep coming back to this album.
Oh, I
For
will
the same
too.
for
It's just I'm not going to talk
Well,
about it that much.
yeah, okay, yeah, but like, and that's partially. I grew up listening to music kind of like this. Like, but the
Mhm.
only difference being that those albums that I would listen to weren't all just about like breakups with a boy.
Yeah.
But they were very similar, and like I've always been vocal about like enjoyed like old Taylor Swift, and like always enjoyed some Paramore songs and like other stuff like that. So it's like this just kind of like was a blend of some stuff that I really enjoyed when I was younger,
Mhm.
and I still enjoy.
So I got to ask, like what's the favorite songs? What's your
Good for
favorite
you,
songs on here? Good
hands
for you.
down. Even though it's so similar to Paramore, I just think I like Good for You and maybe Hope You're Okay, and I also
Yeah.
like one step forward, three steps back because it I don't know. I think it's a good. It might not be like the content might not be exactly different than the rest of the songs, but sonically, I think it's a
Mhm.
good
I
break.
agree. I think this album did an incredible job at the singles, cuz like when I look at the singles, Driver's License, Deja Vu, Good for You, those I think are the top 3 songs on the thing. And
Yeah,
so, I mean, good choices on the people for picking those songs, but I mean, Driver's License, I said on my Instagram, like, if it didn't get so popular, it wouldn't be so hated, because it's only being
yeah,
overhated because it was overloved in the beginning. But
yeah.
it's a really solid song. And then,
I'm so glad that I didn't listen to Driver's License before this because I just
mhm.
got to enjoy this whole album without having heard like actually any of the songs once.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
And I think for me, Driver's License, I've heard it like 4 or 5 times now, and I enjoy it.
I like it. It's a good song. I think
Yeah.
my favorite.
I
So
I when I say I hate this lyric, I don't actually hate it. I'm just saying that I hate it because like I relate to it and it makes me angry. Like this, like when I go to work, I have to drive past someone's neighborhood
yeah, I know what you mean.
like every time, and it's not fun.
I know what you mean. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, in terms of favorites, I said singles. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, not in that order, but those 4 songs are the strongest in my opinion. I think my favorite is Deja
Oh, probably
Vu.
that
I mean,
run. It's a strong run.
it is a
I'm
very
listening to
strong
Deja
run.
Vu right now. Actually,
I love
it's
this was something Cyrus
good.
said in his review, and it was a criticism, but he said like it's not an objectively like bad thing. It's just personal taste. He didn't like it because he said that fuzzy quality Deja Vu has on the
Oh,
complete opposite end of the spectrum. Yeah, on
yeah,
the
I like
complete
it.
opposite side,
I love
I
it.
I like that part. It's what
Yeah,
makes me love that song so much.
I think
It's
it
almost got
yeah.
old school old school Frank Ocean
Hmm.
kind of in a way. And then I'm trying to think of other comparisons, but there's not many.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But yeah, bro, people are blowing fireworks off all night. Okay, last night too. I was trying to sit at Tim Hortons, not in it because we're not allowed to do that. So me and my friends, we sit in the car wash behind the Tims, and
Mhm.
I'm just trying to enjoy my Tim Hortons, talk to my friends, just bang, 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 bang. It's May long weekend. It's not even a big occasion. Like every day, like they're shooting off them from the
Free,
middle of the road.
hashtag free Canada.
Free me, bro.
Free the,
Get me
free
out.
the.
Why are you blowing? Like it was kind of cool over the lake and stuff, but it's like they're blowing them off
They're still going.
2 streets down all night, and it's like they did it on the Friday night. They did it last night. They're doing it tonight. I swear, if they do it tomorrow, I'm going to just like shoot my own fireworks that like spell out like "shut up" or something in the sky.
Drive
But
past their house and fire some bottle rockets out the window of your.
let's
oh,
go.
real quick on the topic of the sky, This is very off topic, but I just want to point this out. Do you guys know like what Elon?
On the topic of the sky.
Yeah, wait, hear me out. Hear me out. Did you guys know about the Elon Musk Starlink thing?
The title sounds.
So it's like his cellular Wi-Fi things. He's putting a bunch of mini satellites in the sky so you can have internet everywhere, right?
Okay.
I was unaware of this. Do you know how? I don't think, I say this with confidence, I don't think I've ever been as terrified in my life as last night. Because my family had some people over for a fire, and they're out there, and my mom was like, "Get out here! You got to see this, right?" I go outside, and
Alien invasion was happening, bro.
yes, because I look up in the sky, and there's like 50 stars all moving in a perfectly straight line in sync.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
and look, it sounds
would've been
dumb.
cool.
You think, right? You think like, oh, aliens don't exist, whatever. But in that moment, when you don't know
Yeah.
what it is, you're sitting there seeing something that is clearly not a coincidence. You're not going to see 50 plus stars moving at the same pace in a exactly straight line. I was horrified, and then everyone was kind of like, that's scary. So my brother Googled it, and we found out it was Elon Musk, and it's like, of course,
Elon.
of course it was Elon. But I just had to.
Yeah.
That's why it was on the topic of the sky. I had to point that out because like I haven't been that
That's
terrified
cool.
in
I
a
wish I would have
while.
seen that.
Well, it depends.
think
Like
that-
you can, I think you can look up when it goes over you, but
It
yeah,
kind of looked like a white balloon.
no, it just looked like stars. It just looked like stars
Really.
that were like
Moving
in a
in a
perfect
straight
straight
line.
line.
Okay,
Like
there was
single
like there was a helicopter that just like flew over where I lived, and it dropped like one, and it looked like a white balloon. I was like, "Dog, is that gonna like go off?" Because I was
Dog,
outside
is that
mowing,
a-
I'm just like,
Yo, homie, is that a nuke?
Okay,
it was just-
Oh.
okay. So back to music. Did we have any last thoughts on Olivia Rodrigo?
Oh,
Oh yeah,
I highly recommend High School Musical, the musical series.
I don't have Disney Plus.
Watch
so.
it on Disney Plus. Shameless plug.
my favorite song from there is Trader.
Actually, sorry, I gotta specify how you watch this show. Unless you're like me and grew up actually like watching High School Musical as like a guilty pleasure, you're probably not gonna enjoy this alone. So I would recommend watching it with like one or two friends so that you can laugh at it because it's actually really funny. But you're
Better not be
definitely gonna,
watching
like,
with a friend in Ontario because you'd be breaking COVID rules, and I will call the police on you because it's the
True
right
Canada.
thing
You
to
can quote me
do.
on that.
It's the right thing. I'm helping, bro. Like, if you call the police, I mean, no one cares about the rules here, but if you call the police on like people hanging out, like you're not doing the right thing. Okay, you're being an a-hole. Stop. But I'm done talking about COVID. I cannot bring it up anymore.
Alright.
I think general consensus: Olivia Rodrigo, very solid album, surprisingly solid. I did not expect that good of an album from her. I'm not gonna lie, and
Yeah,
like
I really didn't.
maybe not an album of the year, but a very strong album at minimum. And then we have Alan Jackson's album, his super long album. I'm just gonna open by saying like that is intimidating to listen to. Like I'm actually surprised. I listened through it like I think twice, but the one time was like in sections because I don't just have an hour and a half uninterrupted. But I think the hard part for me listening to this album, like yeah, it's all good country music, whatever, but like when you look at an album like Dangerous with a similar runtime, more tracks, but there's more tracks in a similar amount of runtime, so you're getting more variation. Whereas a lot of these songs are in between 4 and 5 minutes, and they're a lot of the same sounding thing. And in Dangerous, like I'm just using Dangerous as an example because it's a close comparison.
They're both
But
they're both pretty big.
They're both super long, but with Dangerous, you have side A and side B. Again, just divides it up so you can have many, like, it just makes it more approachable. And with Morgan, he explored more sounds, for better
a
or
lot
for
of different-
worse. Yeah, for better or for worse. But in terms of, like, listening straight through an album, even if I didn't like some of the songs on Dangerous, I enjoyed that listen much more because this album from Alan Jackson is so freaking long. It's like, when do I have an hour and
It just
23
felt
minutes?
long. When I listen to Dangerous, it doesn't feel long. But when
No.
I listen to this,
It just keeps
it
going
feels
on.
like it's taking forever. And that's frustrating because I really wanted to like this, and that's the thing. There's not a song in here that I didn't like. I like how they sound. They just all sound the same to me.
Yeah, it's too much of anything's bad. Too much
Yeah.
of anything is bad.
But
That's what I would say to that's how
Yeah.
I would sum up my opinion on this album is that it's really good music, but like in terms of an album, like how often am I going to go back to this? Only like the few that stood out to me, but not many ended up standing out because they all sort of started falling into the same category because it's so long. I don't know. That's my
Yeah.
like surface thoughts on it.
Yeah.
But there were
I
good.
mean,
It's good music though.
I really don't have a ton to say about this because you basically said a lot of what I was going to say. I mean, but like, I mean, maybe like if I'm trying to think of one that stuck out, I remember liking Where the Cottonwood Grows.
Mm-hmm.
I remember liking how it sounded. But if I'm gonna be real with you, probably once I got past the 10th track, I started like, I don't remember any of the
It's a
songs
blur.
on the last
It's a
half of
blur.
this.
I mean,
Yeah, I do remember. I think I remember listening to I Do. Well, I know I listened to it, but I'm trying to think if I can remember what it was. But a standout would probably be, from what I can remember, a standout would be, I think I enjoyed Where Her Heart Has Always Been, track 9,
that's a good one.
and I enjoyed Where the Cottonwood Grows.
Mhm.
And then Where Have You Gone? The title track is honestly pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great storytelling in here. I just think it kind of, again,
Yeah, there
too much
is.
of anything's bad, but lots of good
I
storytelling.
I think it should have just been 2 albums, like release a second. You should have just cut 11 songs here, then just save the next 11 for another album in a year.
Exactly, that's how I think. Cause like Alan Jackson's not going to be putting out an album every year, like because he's not in his prime anymore. So it's like, why wouldn't you just save this for later? For me, Beer 10, I loved the crowd chants where he's like, "It's Beer 10, waiting for Whiskey 30, whatever." I haven't heard that like that crowd chant in a song in a while, but I was reminded of how fun it is. And then, so I mean, the final two, Beer 10, The Older I Get, I found that a really interesting one where he says like, if there was a fountain of youth, I wouldn't drink a drop. And I found that thought really interesting because I'm always sitting here like I do not want to age. Like time can stop and I will be perfectly happy. So it's interesting to hear somebody because a lot of old people often say like, "Oh, I wish I could be young again." But Alan's out here saying like, "If they discovered a fountain of youth, I wouldn't drink a drop," and that's the truth. That's what he says, I think.
Well, yeah, I see where you're coming from, and I think that just depends on. I mean, everybody's different, right? So
Mhm.
everybody's gonna. But I mean, it might sound weird to some people, but like I look forward to growing older, especially like seeing like my parents are old. My parents are older than me. My grandparents. My dad's 61. Maybe. Sometimes I forget. But and my mom's like 59.
Mhm.
But like, so I get to see a lot of older people, I guess, in my life. But
Yeah.
I'm excited for what the future holds. But yeah, at the same time, I also don't want to grow up. But at the same time, I can't wait to not have to worry about things I have to worry about now. I want to worry about other things.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. I
That
mean,
makes sense.
I just even if I like, yeah, it does make sense. Even if I don't necessarily agree with him, I
Mhm.
still found it a really like
Oh, cool.
compelling
Yeah.
idea. It makes you think. Now, I think for me, one of the big things of like not wanting to grow up, and I don't mean to bring it back to COVID. Like I'm bringing this back only like because it makes sense in this scenario, and I'm not gonna go on like another COVID rant. But seriously speaking, right? I've just had like, you know, 50% of my high school career and counting has just been
Yeah,
ripped out of my hands.
for sure.
So it's like I don't want to grow up because I don't think I've been young yet. And I don't want to
Hmm. Oh,
like
that makes sense.
I
Yeah.
don't want to grow up and not know what it was like to be young. Not like if I don't miss being a high school student because I never got to be.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to grow old. I'd love
I
for
didn't even
time
go
to
to my
stop.
graduation senior year.
Exactly. Like I don't I don't want to miss that stuff. So it's like I don't want to grow up because I still have a lot of living to do while I'm
I get
young
that.
that I'm
Yeah.
not getting to do. And so it's like that's why I'm always so ticked off with the lockdown extensions because it's like
That's actually
just open up. Like
I like
I
that
want to
you
be young.
I like that you brought that up. I actually had a good conversation with one of my closest friends. Her name is, oh, actually I won't. I just won't name drop. It's whatever.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
that was about 2 months ago, and I remember her talking about how she's married
Mhm.
and she doesn't regret getting married. She's enjoying it, and she's enjoying figuring out with her husband, who I'm good friends with. And but she at the same time, we're having this is one of those conversations that like you stay up to like 4 a.m.
Mhm.
Like you're talking for a long time. And she was just telling me about how she's just thought about like what if we just hadn't gotten married and just kept dating, right? Cause like there's a part of that youth that you can hold on to, where you like, cause she got kind of thrust into like just a life happened, and she's
Mhm.
got a lot of responsibilities right now,
Yeah.
and she got married young, and there's just a lot going on. It's such she misses. She wishes sometimes that she had less of that, you know. So
Mhm.
yeah, like I really like that. I really like that perspective. The Alan Jackson hits in the last track.
Yeah,
I like
it's
that.
just I don't know. It's those existential ideas that I sometimes think
Mhm.
are the coolest.
All right,
Um,
Jaded. I think is
I
chomping
just
at the
want to say
bit.
before this kicks off, because I don't know what's about to go down, but I know what's about to go down. Um, I just want to say like a few issues I had specifically back. I did not like that track at all. Like, here's the thing: where have you gone? Right,
I
that's
don't even
saying like
remember back, so I have nothing to say about
yeah, well,
it.
where have you gone is like, oh, country music, where have you gone? Where's the soft steel? That's done in a cool
Hmm.
way. I like that. Back is just bad in my opinion. Like, it's Alan Jackson saying
Hmm.
like, back, I'm bringing country back, and then just lists everything like it. Like, if Thomas Rhett released that song, he would be
Hmm.
trashed for it.
He'll be
Like,
crucified.
maybe like, oh, 100%. Like, maybe Thomas's would sound a little newer, but
Uh huh.
like Alan, okay, so Alan has some old production, and I defend production a lot. Like when it comes to production versus lyrics, I'm very open in saying that I think the sound of music is more important than lyrics. Obviously, that's just my opinion. But
For sure.
like, don't tell us you're bringing country back. Just bring it back. And like I'm sorry, Alan Jackson. With all due respect, you aren't bringing country back. The fact of the matter is, you owned the town in like the 90s and 2000s. You were the king of the crop, but like you're not
Cream of the crop.
in cream of the crop. You're not. He's not in his prime anymore. That's the fact of the matter. And so it's like he's not gonna change. This album's not gonna shift the momentum of country like the song "Back" says it is. Like, I'm bringing country back. This is how we do it. We're gonna get it right. We're gonna set it straight like Haggard would want. And it's just like, no, you're not. And it's just don't tell us you're bringing country back. Just do it. And where is I'm pulling up the lyrics because it's just like this is how it goes. Like, my mic is just directly in front of my monitor. Tomatoes on the vine, last week's clothes drying on the line, mama in the kitchen, daddy down the hall, bourbon on the table, Jesus on the wall. It's like back, I'm bringing country back where it belongs, back on track. I think old Hank would like it like that. I got my boots, I
Oh,
got my hat, I'm bringing
I
country back.
remember this song now.
Yeah, it's like I'm sorry, it sounds fine. It sounds fine, and I defend the sound a lot, like I said, but this is just annoying, to be honest with you, because it's like, no,
Yeah.
Alan Jackson, at your age, you're not bringing country back. I respect you as a legend of the genre, but this song just
Yeah.
annoyed me because it's like, no, this is just a
Well,
waste.
actually,
I don't know.
okay, real quick. I know we need Jaded. We need to hear
Bro, he's
Jaded.
going so quiet. He's
I
loading
know.
up for this. He's
I know.
loading
I
up.
love that it's like silent on his right in his end right now. But I will say real quick, I remember, forget if somebody put it in the Discord or what, but I saw that Alan
Oh,
Jackson
was
made
this
like
what
a
he
tweet or
said?
something,
Yeah.
and then Randy Travis like basically was like, I'm sorry old friend, but there's like he like and then he like added like Luke Combs and was like, these guys are doing it right, and then there's like Riley Green and some other people, and I just
Mhm.
thought that was kind of cool.
I was.
Like imagine Randy Travis defending your honor against Alan Jackson on Twitter.
It's yeah. I was honestly that exact thing. I was debating
Randy
making
Travis, my dad.
a short
You
video
quote
on,
him.
and I haven't like closed off the idea to making a video about it. But I found that remark interesting. It did spark like I have an idea sheet where I just like list down all my ideas for videos, and that
Mhm.
exact tweet sparked like at least 3 or 4 ideas. I don't know if I'm gonna make a video on it now, but yes. So Jaded, I'm gonna now introduce
Yeah,
you
that's
because
my name.
you've gone quiet during this Alan Jackson
He's going
discussion
dark.
because you told me before
No.
that you had something prepared for when we talked about Alan Jackson.
I-
We don't know
first
what
of
this
all,
is, but-
this is all off the cuff. I didn't prepare anything.
You said you had a little bit of a thing prepared. Not
He
prepared,
knows what he's
but, like,
gonna rant about.
You know what you're gonna. Yeah. So
I know what's up.
you've gone very quiet during this Alan Jackson. So we're gonna give you the spotlight. Go nuts.
I'm gonna preface this with a couple of things. So I want to point out first, my opinion is my own. I don't claim
This is gonna.
to.
We know where this is going now.
I don't claim to be right about anything.
Hated is the end all be all. Bow.
That is also true. The only thing that I am absolutely and 100% correct about, and I will take no debate about, is that Whiskeyed My Way is awful. But
Okay, we're getting off track. Go keep going.
Yeah, he's been muted. Sorry, continue.
okay. I would also like to say, before this, I had just never gone out of my way to listen to a Alan Jackson album wholly. I've listened to a lot of Alan Jackson songs. I grew up on Alan Jackson, but I've never listened to a complete album.
I'm actually the
And
same way.
people-
Keep going. Sorry.
And people,
going.
they talk about this man like he's a god.
Oh,
So
no,
when
this is
I
going-
got into this album,
now. That's
So when I
okay.
got into this
That's where he's going with this.
so when I got into this album, I was like, okay, let's see what all the fuss is about. And then, I was thinking that in my head, and then my man doubled down. He was like, dog, country music is trash right now. And then he was like, I'm gonna bring country back, man. So once I heard Where Have You Gone, I was expecting a lot. I was expecting, Alan Jackson, he's coming in. He hasn't released an album in 6 years. He's coming in. He's about to show us all how it's done. You know what we got, dog?
Oh boy.
We got 20 songs that sound
21.
exactly 21.
It's 21. It's 21 songs.
Oh, you true. Yeah, true.
To his point, to be honest, continue.
We got 21 songs.
Yeah.
That sound exactly the same. And we got 6 songs that is just entirely filler. We could find these exact songs on other albums from the time.
Or on the album, like to the point of Where Have You Gone and Back. Those are like the same song. It's just one's done really well and one's obnoxious. So
And also, like, if you're like, dog, I miss all these sounds. I really do. We have so many artists right now that are making these sounds. And plus, for the 80s and 90s, dog, everyone was doing these sounds. There's 10,000 albums out right now that you could go listen to that have these sounds in them. And plus,
I'm liking
gonna bring
this.
it down.
I'm like,
I'm
this.
gonna bring it
Continue.
down. I have said on this podcast before that
No, sorry, no. Edmonton, my Edmonton Oilers, right? They were winning, right? We were down
What just
2.
happened?
Hockey, okay? I just got a notification on my phone, right? Pause your rant for a second,
It's a
right?
big right turn into the.
So-
we just hit the divider on the interstate.
Edmonton Oilers, right?
I need a second.
I've been cheering for these boys for too long. We're up. We're down 2-0 in the series. We come out guns blazing, win the first period. We're up like 4-1 at one point or 4-2. Then they tied it. It's 4-4. We just lost in overtime. Now we're down 3-0 in a series, and I understand that the Winnipeg Jets are good. But come on, there's no way that we're going to go this whole season just to get swept in the first round. I just got that notification on my phone. Who scored it? Who scored it? Who scored this OT winner? Pause.
Mike.
No. I probably clipped my mic like 80 times through this. But
No, you're fine.
it didn't clip? I'm surprised. Who scored this game winner? Why is my app not loading?
Bruh.
Who scored this?
The last 3 minutes have been a roller coaster.
Nikolai Ehlers, all right? Nikolai Ehlers, if you listen to this, like, I don't respect you as a person, all right? You're an untalented hockey player. I disrespect you heavily. Just let my Oilers win a single game, okay? We had 2 of the highest scoring players all season, McDavid and Draisaitl. You've never seen a duo like this in the league. How are you going to sweep them in the first round? Just let my team go somewhere. We've been trash for my whole life. I understand this. And I understand that we're probably still trash. But, like, back to Alan Jackson. Continue your rant. I'm sorry.
Okay. I've said on this podcast before, I'm just personally, I'm not super compelled by the sound, and I understand, like if you really really love the '90s sound, it's like, yeah, I haven't heard like an album like this in so long. Well, first of all, dog, you just like go listen to other albums, but okay, that's fine. You can listen. 21 songs, they all sound the same. Cool, good for you. But man, there are some really good songs on here lyrically. But man, a lot of these they're just so plain. A lot of these songs are just very very cookie cutter. There's no words that you wouldn't expect. There's very little assonance. There's I didn't look before this to see if Alan Jackson wrote them all. You know
I have a
I
feeling he at least co-wrote most of them.
Yeah.
okay
Most.
okay.
I'm not gonna say all.
But
He had
No,
10 years to make this, so he better have written co-wrote all of them.
and that's another thing too. You're releasing 21 songs. Why do you need filler? You could just release a really solid 14 track. I do not believe that
I'd
he's
settle for
passionate.
10. I think 10 would be great.
I'm not convinced that he's passionate about all these songs. A lot of these songs lack any passion. He just threw them in. He wrote them and he was like, oh, I guess I gotta do something with them. He just threw them in.
I will say, sorry, that like that Blake Shelton album. I don't think any of these songs are atrocious except for maybe Back, but Back is just kind of like sonically it's fine, but the lyrics are kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I wouldn't be this far on it.
Really quickly.
No.
Oh.
If it wasn't for the statement he was trying to make,
No,
right?
If it wasn't for him saying, "Yo,
Yeah.
this is how you do it. I'm
I got
bringing
you.
country back." When we've already had 5 years of neo-traditionalism making a comeback. Dog, this isn't you. You're old. You haven't made anything, dog. This has nothing to do with you.
The future is now, old man.
This is funny. I mean, you do raise a fair point though, and it's one thing I do. If any
I mean, this is
country music content creators are listening to this, I dibs this idea. I'm just gonna say one of the things that sparked from Alan Jackson's tweet is that I don't think country music's that bad right now. I don't think we need saviors in it. I think it's in a good spot right now. Could it be in a better spot? Yes, but like Jaded said,
I want to. You said I don't think we need saviors. I don't think we. I want to I don't think we need like self-proclaimed saviors.
yeah, that's the thing. Well, exactly.
He's like self-proclaiming, like
Luke Combs, right? He came in great for country music, but he didn't come in saying I'm gonna save country music. He just did it. That's what I'm saying with Back. Don't tell us. But it's one thing where like music is gonna progress in all genres, and I'm not gonna get too deep into this because this is something I'm gonna talk about in a separate video later. But like, I understand country is like the roots of country music are the fact that it is traditional, but genres progress, music progresses, and I think Jaded said it perfectly. If you want that 90s country sound, listen to 90s country.
Yeah.
Like, because there is the music world is different today in the sense that you can listen to any song that's ever been released for $10 a month. It's like, I bet you there's a lot of 90s country albums that those people haven't listened to. So I'm not, I don't necessarily feel as strongly as my man Jaded over here in the sense that I'm not exactly fully on that side, but I think there is some merit to the fact that people, when they come in and say like, well, it's not exactly like the 90s, therefore it's bad. It's like, well, if you hate the music coming out of today, then just listen to the music of the time you like, because there's probably, like, I bet those people who are saying that, like, they've probably only listened to maximum 15% of the music from that time, because there's so much music. Go explore. I encourage people to, like, listen to all sorts of music, but I'm not sitting here, like, whining about the state of country music because Sam Hunt did a pop crossover. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
You're right.
So,
Okay,
yeah.
this is a perfect
All right.
Go
ahead.
Go
Go
this
ahead.
is a perfect transition. I'm sorry, my brain's not really working right now. I'm very
It's on cooldown mode.
upset. Oh no, it's about to come back again probably. Everyone who was like, if you like came into this album like, yo, I hate radio, and I'm gonna be real with you. So do I, dog. I don't like radio. I don't listen to country radio because most of it I don't like. But first of all, if you're saying we don't have any traditionalism in country, we do. We have a
We have
lot of it, and
plenty.
it's very popular right now. And second, if you're on the other side and you're saying music like country music lyrics like isn't like what like it once was. First of all, you're not gonna find that great of lyricism on this album. You're just not. There's some good songs, like some really good songs. Go to the indie scene. Go to the folk scene. Go to the Americana scene. If you want to
Go
find
to Canada.
No, I highly encourage you to not. You can dip into our musical scene, but you don't want to
Virtually go to Canada.
virtually
on
from the
Spotify.
comfort of your home without a mascot. Visit Canada online. Disclaimer.
If you wanna
Continue.
if you want to find really good lyricism, that's where you need to look. I'm gonna be real with you. If that's what you say you want in music, and you really like this album, I have 3 ideas. Either
Oh, no.
one, you're just really focusing on like the good songs, and it's okay. I get it.
Because there are good
That's-
instances of solid songwriting on here.
Yeah. And I'm there's probably like 2 or 3 songs I'm gonna come back to on this album, and like yeah, that's okay. If you're saying this is like really saving country, and by the way, I'm not claiming that this isn't better than like a lot of the albums that are put out today. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that because it is like it's
Yeah,
not
okay,
like
the
on
thing
a
is-
whole different. It's not on a
Yeah.
whole different level, but like it's a step above for sure.
Yeah, here, Jaded.
But
Like without the narrative, like if this narrative that Alan Jackson has been pushing wasn't there, I think we can both agree, or we can all agree that, like,
7 out of 10.
yeah, like
Yeah.
without the narrative that's being pushed, it's a solid album, but it's just annoying that like it's just like, why are
Okay.
you doing this? You know,
Mhm.
like why Alan?
So the 2 other possibilities that I see is
Oh no.
you just haven't like heard these really good songwriters, and that's okay. Like like 5 years ago I would have had no idea who you were talking about if you talked about Jason Isbell, right? But that's okay. Like I would encourage you to go listen to them if that's really what you claim to want. But if not, dog, you're either just like blinded by nostalgia or you're just lying. This is not there. I cannot believe that there is people out there that are saying that this is just some masterpiece of songwriting. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's genuinely not. And this is not saving country music. This is not just like on a whole different.
This is
playing field.
emotional, bro. He's into this.
Listen, I'm a very emotional person, and
Right.
when
Okay.
when he was like, "Yo, I'm bringing country back," as someone who's really passionate about
Yeah.
this genre, and this handbasket of genres, that elicited a strong emotional.
It seemed like
response
a
from me.
weird time for him to do it too. Like
Mhm.
maybe 2014, Alan. Maybe that.
Even like 2016 when the like pop fusion started really infesting, that makes sense. But if anything, like country's been trending in a better and better direction lately. Really quickly, I want to back myself up here. In the mainstream, it's been getting better because there is a thing where like mainstream might not be what it was a while ago, and mainstream might not be the best country music that's out there, but there's a lot of incredible country music on the internet. You just have to find it. And I understand that there is a thing of like, well, the good country music should be the pinnacle
Yeah.
of the genre. And I agree with that. I don't think people like
But
Dustin Lynch should be the poster boys of country music. But it's not that it's not out there. It's just not being played on the radio, which we all know radio's dying. Like, it's a dying form of media. So
Okay.
I'm definitely not as far on the one side as Jaded, but there's a lot of merit to what he's saying in the sense that like it's not going to save country music with all due respect to Alan.
I just want to put this out there because I said like I got emotional when he said that like he was gonna save country music. He was bringing it back. I'm gonna be super real with you, even if it like I'm not a huge traditional fan. I like the sound quite a lot, but it's not what I would go to just like when I'm just kind of like wanting to listen to something, unless I really had just a random urge.
Jada, to
But
earn your like, just to like back you up for a second, when he says he doesn't go to traditional all the time, that doesn't mean he's like, Dan and Shay Stan. Like he's more
oh
of
no
a
no
he's
no.
more of a Zach Bryan
More
guy.
acoustic, right?
Yeah.
More an acoustic indie.
Yeah.
Just so people don't think you're putting like pop country on a pedestal and traditional country.
No,
there.
no. Of course not. No. Like my
Of
my
course.
favorite my favorite sound is just like a guitar and a voice and then maybe a drum.
So
I
wait,
would
can I
argue-
ask you quickly something? So
What?
did you listen, and if you did, what were your thoughts on the Marfa tapes?
What?
The Marfa tapes.
Oh, I love the Marfa tapes. We should have talked about the Marfa tapes. We are talking about them right now.
We can
I'm
you know
just
what? We got a little bit of time. We got a little bit of time. If we can wrap
Oh,
this
actually,
Alan.
sorry, no, wait. Real quick, before
we
we
wrap
do
this
this, I'm
Alan
really
up, we can
excited
talk
to
about the
about the
Marfa.
Marfa tapes. But
I
I
did
really
not listen
quickly.
to the Marfa tapes.
Oh,
It's
okay,
fine,
well
it's fine.
then I highly
Oh
recommend
wait,
for you.
can I finish just real
Yeah,
quick?
yeah, yeah. Tie it up.
Okay. If Alan Jackson, like with his whole sound, with everything, I appreciate it. You know, he's got a specific style of sound. You know, I don't think he should have. I think he should have pushed the bounds a little bit. You know, every song sound the same, but you know, it's whatever. If he would have came in, and just really like every song was like, say Blue Ridge Mountain song level of songwriting, or like Remember When level of songwriting. If every one of
Fleet Foxes.
if
He
every
said Blue Ridge Mountains. It's a Fleet Foxes song. Sorry.
Oh,
keep going.
okay.
no, Alan Jackson has a song called Blue Ridge Mountain songs, and I really like that song. But
Oh, okay.
if he would have brought if he would have brought that like level of songwriting, even though it's not Jason Isbell level, I would have been like, okay, yeah, he swung really well, and you know, I don't appreciate the narrative, like, you know, it's very it's kind of stuck up. When he said that, I was expecting him to really just come in and like really show them how it's done, but nah, it's just not. It's good. It's just not great. If you're gonna make a statement like that, you gotta back it up, and he just
Yeah.
didn't.
Before we move on to the Marfa tapes, I've been wanting to say this for a while, but Jaden's been going off. This is gonna be real quick. A good. The whole time I was listening to the Alan Jackson album, the whole time I was listening, I was thinking, wow, I wish this was as good as Honky Tonk Time Machine by.
Oh, that was an incredible album. That was incredible.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and like it's like George Strait just came in with a 13-track album full of bangers, and Alan Jackson didn't.
And at the time when Honky Tonk Time Machine came in, it was a more fitting time
Yes,
because
yeah,
neo-traditionalism was
yeah.
starting to gain some steam. So it just made a lot more sense culturally. So,
Alright.
yeah,
More
I think
tape.
so. To summarize, Alan Jackson, legend of the genre. No one's out here denying that he did a lot, but with all due respect to you, Alan, you're not saving country music with this album. The quality was high, but too much of anything is gonna backfire. And also, just to because Jaren, you were asking about it. I looked it up. 14 of these songs were solo rights by Alan, and if it wasn't a solo right, he didn't
It was
have
a
any
co-write.
part in it.
Oh,
So exactly 2/3 of the track were solo rights, and the other third he didn't have any part in writing. So
so
it's
he
interesting
could have
little thing.
just not cut the 7 songs he didn't write.
Yeah, but that means like you're stuck with like back. Then
Okay.
here really quickly
he
the
did
songs
write back.
the songs he obviously he wrote back the songs that
Obviously,
were
he wrote
not
back.
solo rights, and then we're gonna move on to the Marfa tapes.
Look, I told you I forgot. I forgot.
The songs that were not solo rights, The Older I Get, So Late So Soon, which I actually really enjoyed, Things That Matter. Wait, what? Hold on.
Wait. So he wrote 14 songs and said, "I need 7 more," and then didn't cut any of the one. Then didn't. He didn't, bruh. He cut every single one of the 14 ones he wrote. That's
He could have just
I'm
made
glad-
that the
I'm-
album.
I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I didn't know that he wrote 14 songs himself. I probably would have had even higher expectations. But I just want to say, I'm just very irreverent in general. I don't. really
Yeah,
care that
I
much,
think
but
the attitude
Jack-
going into the
Alan-
album wasn't great.
Alan Jackson, you know, you've put out really great music. I respect like that you wrote most of the songs yourself. but man, you just didn't bring it. You just didn't do it.
I think that's a bit of this whole segment where we were all kind of on the same page is almost a bit of a hot take, but I feel like a lot of people would agree with us. It's just not many people want to speak up against someone like Alan Jackson. So I actually
Yeah.
respect
you,
you.
Alan Jackson.
I respect you breaking that barrier a bit, because a lot of people wouldn't have the balls to say that. So we have not much time left. If anything, we're gonna go over time. We don't.
Here, real quick, let's talk about the Marfa Tapes.
So
Yeah.
the Marfa Tapes, Miranda Lambert, John Randall, and Jack Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
I
Jaded.
had no clue this was happening. Actually,
You would love this because it's literally just the
you
three of
would.
them singing around a
Um,
campfire.
Yeah, I was super. It's
Oh,
they're recorded
word?
live. These are like there's no production.
Yeah, it's all live.
Well,
we'll likely listen
minimal
to this
production.
right after this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to. I was super excited for this because I never really got into Miranda until her most recent album, Wild Card. And I
Yeah.
loved Wild Card. And so when I heard that this was happening, because I love acoustic music, when I heard that this was happening and I heard the first single, In His Arms, I was like, I'm going to love this, and there's no way I'm not going to love it. And then they released the second single.
Yeah,
and
what
it
was the other single? I
It,
forget
well,
what
the
second
next
one
single was the acoustic version of Tin Man.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, if you don't know the song Tin Man by Miranda Lambert, listen to it because it's honestly an amazing song. I think it might have won Grammys or it won. I know it won awards. It's a very good song. Very well written. And Waxahachie is a standout. I'm skipping.
Yeah.
Sorry.
A lot of people
Always.
like Waxahachie, and yeah, it's
But
it's a
but
standout.
Tequila Does is also on here off of the Wild Card album. It's the same song. It's just acoustic.
Which do you
so it's
prefer?
very good.
Which do you
Huh?
prefer? I have to ask. Do you like the studio Tequila Does or acoustic?
I probably do prefer the studio version of Tequila Does, and that's mostly just because of like, it really gives you the vibe, like the Tequila Does vibe, you know. But
Yeah.
singing it, or if I was there around the campfire, I would probably really really enjoy it, you know.
I mean, personally, like I don't. There was the one. I'm drawing a blank. Oh no! I threw my phone across the room from the Oilers thing. One second.
Wait, okay, so while he's doing that,
I went to
the
pull up
Am I Right or Amarillo was another single.
Am I Right or
for
Amarillo
this
is a good
release.
one. Yes.
That one was good, and Ghost is good too. I love Ghost. I'm actually gonna play that right now while I talk.
It's okay.
It's
I've
just-
got my
this
phone.
is just really good. It's like chill. It's peaceful. It's beautiful.
If you
There's
want to
nothing-
like vibe out, yes. If you want to just be calm. So what I was gonna say is with
There's
Tequila
really-
Does, obviously, studio version very, very smooth, like very well done. But and I'm contradicting myself because I'm like 99.99% sure. For some reason, I have a sliver of a doubt, and Jaded will know this. Condemned was the one where Zach Bryan starts laughing with his friends, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, there's
So-
laughing in like all these
The-
tracks.
Yeah, but like Condemned's the one where he like literally stops in the last chorus.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And-
And
His friend like came up while I was singing, and like they were trying to sing on top of each other, and he was right. at the
Yeah. So that like listening through, I didn't that part kind of annoyed me because I thought on a song like Condemned, I just didn't
Well-
want to hear the laughing. Whereas
Okay,
on
wait,
Tequila,
wait.
I want to defend the Condemned, not just because I'm a massive Zach Bryan fan, but the thing is like that whole record was like super like rough, and like,
oh yeah,
all of it was entirely acoustic, and the thing is like with
well, do you see the
Condemned-
setup for it? It's like a mattress on a
Yeah.
wall.
So it's mattresses in a Airbnb room, basically.
Yeah.
yeah, so
Mattress
I think
on
that
wall.
goes with the whole theme, and like if you don't want to listen to Condemned like that, you can just go listen to like the 3 videos that he did with just him and his guitar singing Condemned,
Mhm.
because that's all the album is.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. I'm not throwing shade on the album. Like, I think Deanne was like an incredibly solid album. It's just that was one part that kind of annoyed me, just because Condemned was one of those songs I kind of wanted to listen to straight through. But with Tequila Does, I almost like when they start laughing off and they have to like bring each other back on track because it's just like
Oh yeah,
it's a groovy song and it's got that funny, not funny, but
that's true.
I don't know. It's got that feeling that I almost think the laughing and the pauses and
Well, that's
having to
why it's
regather
a good
brought it
campfire
back.
song.
Yeah,
It's just
so
a fun time.
for that reason, like I'm almost inclined to say I prefer the Marfa Tapes version. I'm not sure on it. I'm not gonna set that in stone, but like it's close. It's close for me.
Yeah, my piece on that is that I love the Marfa Tape version, but I had the studio version from Wildcard on repeat for like months,
Hmm.
back in the fall, and I just love it. I still listen to it all the time. So
Oh yeah.
I just love how it sounds. But my favorite, when you were talking about how you love like the kind of like the camaraderie, the laughing in Tequila does, I like it a lot in Geraldine.
Yep.
Like
When she's like
Geraldine's not my favorite song,
Geraldine.
but yeah, when she's doing the Geraldine, oh, that's funny. But Homegrown Tomatoes, I
Yep.
actually low-key love that song.
Yep. That's a good one.
It's
Let
just
me
a
pull up
fun
the
time.
track list.
I need to. By the way, the only way to like you can listen to you can stream it on Spotify and all that other stuff. But if you want a physical copy, it's only on vinyl. So
Oh.
no CDs
I think
Just-
the
for the people that don't know that.
the standouts for me were Tequila Does, Waxahachie, Am I Right or Amarillo, and either Homegrown Tomatoes or In His Arms. I think those are the ones that stuck with
I
me
love
most,
In
but
His Arms.
very-
I've been listening to that nonstop since it came out.
very solid.
Ghost
I
is just so beautiful. Bro.
that's
I
true.
don't know.
Ghost it's such a like
just the now you're just a ghost.
yeah,
And then
it-
there's the
oh.
it's so beautiful. It is.
the whole album
Really.
like
It is. The
when
whole album
when half the album
Jaded, you gotta listen to
is the
this right
favorites,
after.
you're gonna love it, Jaded. When half the album is your favorites, it means something. And we're coming up on halfway through the year. I would not be surprised if the Marfa Tapes makes an entrance somewhere in my year-end best albums video. I didn't do like a review of it just because like I wasn't sure because it's not like a formal
It
album.
wasn't a big album. It's not
No,
like a
it was
studio
just
album.
yeah.
It's just
So
a fun project.
I loved it, and normally, like, I only review things unless it's a big name. When you get something like Kane and Smith, that's not a huge name, but I reviewed it because it's like there's something here that I want to talk about, and there definitely is that with the Marfa Tapes. But I didn't end up doing it. A, because there was also a lot of albums coming out at the time, and B, just because I wasn't like sure, like, is this an album? Do I review it like an album? Because obviously there are like covers of her previous songs and stuff, but Marfa Tapes, if you haven't listened to it, Jaded, you'll love it. If your name is not Jaded, you'll still love it. If you love anything acoustic, it's perfect for you. And with that,
I will say this isn't for everyone. It's
no,
like
it's
Zach
not.
Bryan.
If you like that,
It's
strip back
kind of like
acoustic.
Zach Bryan in the sense where it's like this is just kind of like they played it, they'd written it, they'd practiced it, and they played it together live. You can hear crickets in some of the songs. You can hear people laughing in the background and talking.
Mhm.
So it's like
So with that,
it's like that.
I think we're gonna close off this episode. I thought this was an incredible episode. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, there's a lot to to dissect.
A lot happened in this episode.
A lot happened. Jaded, you're gonna have a fun time trying to edit this one.
Canada was condemned. Bones were thrown. Jaded crucified Alan Jackson. And
I think we may have gone a little harsh on Alan, but at the same time, we didn't. I don't know.
Listen.
Alan came with a
If you're-
lot of attitude. That's I'll say.
If you're an Alan Jackson stan and you're mad at me for everything I said, die bad.
What?
What did you just
Die
say?
Die mad?
Die mad.
Oh, bro, you came so close. It was so bass heavy. I couldn't even make it what you said.
Yes. All I heard was bass.
Yeah. All right. So, if you made it through, thank you. Let us know what you thought. Whether you're watching.
Shout out
this
to my
on-
boy Brett for listening to the first episode and actually enjoying it because he doesn't like country music. He just enjoyed our conversation.
Brett. You're incredible. One of my good friends is named Brett too.
If anyone wants to argue with me, I love arguing. Just comment down below.
Yeah, so this will be on if you're watching this on YouTube, hello from YouTube. Comment your thoughts on all these things. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple or whatever, because we're on
Do we
Spotify.
Do we have Google Podcast yet?
I don't know, but lads, that's pretty certified. Spotify and Apple. That's pretty good.
Wait, let me check. This
Certified.
is a live test.
Live test. Yeah, I haven't checked in a few days. I know we got on Apple and Spotify.
Overshore podcast. Yes,
Yeah, we're gonna have to rename that and maybe
Is it
update the
still-
image. Although I really like the
Yep,
deep
we
purple.
got it.
Hey, Google
go.
Podcast gang, what's up? So wherever you're
Yeah,
listening,
We go
listening
ahead
to
and
this,
subscribe.
yeah, hey,
Yeah.
bro, I'm subscribed
Get
on
the
Apple.
numbers up.
Wherever
So
you're,
when are we updating the name?
probably after New Music Friday comes out, just to make sure there's no
Okay, okay.
awesome modifications. Because if someone drops something, because I said I'm not taking new names, but if you have a modification, Two Waves on the Shore, if we see one that we're like,
Sure,
holy frick,
we
that's
could update
good.
it.
But day after New Music Friday, and I mean it depends when this comes out as well. So yeah, if you're listening to this on streaming services, you can also comment on the YouTube video your thoughts on this. I think we're gonna go with like a week after it goes up on streaming. We're gonna put it up
Yeah.
on YouTube so that kind of get you listening on the streaming because it's much more convenient. So if you're listening to this on streaming like the day it came out, sorry you won't be able to comment your thoughts for a bit. But that's the rundown. That's the goal. The first episode was a little all over the place, but it's the first episode. I mean, this is only the second. We're still trying to figure things out, but you guys seem to enjoy it. I got a good amount of positive feedback on it. So
Yeah, I
uh,
did too.
Hey, we have a lot of plans for this podcast. So
we
you know,
do. So stay
you know,
tuned.
Yeah, so like and subscribe if you really want to see where this goes and you've been enjoying it.
So yeah, we're gonna close it off. Until next time, have a great day.
I love you.